In version 3 of our program Drains, we have included the tool that will allow designing the main vent pipes for waste stacks in your projects. In this video, we will present you the way to carry out the vent stack pipe design, based on the fact that it is connected to the waste stack that collects the wastewater from sanitary network number 4. This arrangement is typical in soil stacks with more than 4 branch intervals. Remember that we have already designed, in the previous video, the individual sewer ventilation network in our example project file. Also remember that the waste stacks vents design in buildings it is done according to the diameters, fixture units, and vent stack pipe lengths that you have specified in the configuration tab of the program. Therefore, at this level, you must have updated these values to those stipulated by your country's sanitary design codes. Since we have used this project file with several typical drainage networks and, from them, we have selected the number 4 for this video series, we will create a new soil stack pipe to be vented in this project. So you will be able to understand what the process is to create the respective plumbing vent stack. First to all, I am going to change the label of the network 4's discharge node, the point where it will be connected to the waste stack. Let's go to the Stack tab. From Software version 3, you will see this button here on the right. It is the one that will give you access to the Vent Stacks design tool. We will see its characteristics in a minute since we need to create, at least, one waste stack to enable it. Click the New Stack button. Give it a name. We ensure that it is a waste stack, although it's the default type in this dialog. And we change the node's prefix so that each node represents one level of the building. Then, as a new addition in version 3, it is required in this dialog to specify the building rooftop's elevation, as well as the height that the vent pipe through the roof will extend above this elevation. These values, as you will assume, are necessary to define the lengths of pipes accurately. In this case, we will assume that the attended building has 10 levels plus the ground floor and that, at each of these levels, the wastewater from a Type 4 network is carried out. Therefore, I enter the roof elevation and 1.2 meters as the vent stack's extension above the roof. Please note that this parameter is generally defined in the applicable sanitary regulations. Click OK to return to the program and to initiate the soil stack construction. Let's create the node corresponding to the waste stack's base, its discharge point, with elevation 0 and no assigned network. Then I create the node that receives the network on the ground floor, at the same elevation 0. And, similarly, I'll do for the remaining 10 levels, making sure in each case to specify a different elevation. Define the nodes, it remains to create the vertical pipes that interconnect them. I will start in this case from the last level, descending to the sanitary stack space. In each case, I will specify the respective starting and ending nodes, as well as the corresponding length. Thus the soil stack necessary for the design of the vent stack is ready. I emphasize to you that what we have seen here is something already known to users of the software's version 2. we have not included any new features related to this design phase. We will then carry out the calculation and design by clicking the button on the Project tab. We see that the accumulated fixture units are 154 in total and that the diameter of the waste stack to vent is 110 mm. Here we have the respective list of materials. As well, and this is a version 3 edition, the summary table of sanitary fixtures associated with the stack. Useful information for the project's specification. Now that we have the most challenging part ready, we will get to know the tool for vent stack pipes design by pressing this button. It is, in fact, quite simple because everything, if you wish, is done automatically. By default, this option will be checked since it is the one that tells the program to associate, in the calculations and bill of materials, a ventilation column to the current soil stack. If you consider that the waste stack does not require a main ventilation, that is, you will specify for it a vent through the roof, or if the vent stack is not connected to the soil stack, you should disable this option. Then you will see that the number of fixture units of the waste stack is placed as a reference since they are supposed to be the vented units. The sanitary stack's calculated length is also shown, based on the elevations and the vent pipe through roof length extension specified previously. Regarding the plumbing vent stack, the length's automatic calculation is also carried out assuming that it is connected to the soil stack at its base and the top, before extending over the roof level. In any case, as you see, it is possible to override this automatic calculation by checking this box and entering the desired value. And, since the purpose of this tool is to determine the diameter from the fixture units and the vent stack's length, pressing this button will update the values and calculations and, of course, the diameter will be automatically calculated. 75 mm, in this case. Note that the calculation satisfies the lengths table requirements here in the project's configuration tab. For 110 mm soil stacks with up to 200 fixture units, the 75 mm diameter vent stack sets a maximum length of 75 meters. And that's it. A simple way to make the diameter selection in your waste stack vent designs. Finally, the list of materials for the active waste stack now incorporates not only the total pipe's lengths but also the fittings, such as elbows, and expansions, that are necessary to perform the connection between both stacks. So with these DRAINS new features, you hardly have to do a single manual calculation on your designs of water drainage systems in buildings. You don't think so?